Hi, so this camera angle is very, very unflattering, but for the moment we're just gonna work with it because I don't know where my little clip is that I put on my windshield. So we're gonna work with it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cynthia if you're new here, and right now I am out running errands, as you can see. It is Sunday and I need to get quite a few things done to prep for the week. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a really annoying week by not doing future Cynthia a favor and being productive and reliable. So I just dropped off, I had a couple of Amazon returns, I just dropped those off at UPS. I am now in line at Starbucks because where else would we be? We're out running errands on a Sunday, prepping for the week. We have to grab Starbucks, that's just how it works. And then after this, I'm going to the grocery store, which I don't know if I will get any clips of because I am a very big wuss about filming in public. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, I'm gonna go grab Starbucks. We're gonna head to the grocery store and yeah, I'll be back. Seriously, that trip upstairs, the trip upstairs with the grocery bags, wipes me out. I would show you my pantry because I did get like bread and wraps and some sauces for the pantry, but my pantry is a mess and I'd rather not have that on the internet, so. But in a minute, I do want to make a bagel with cream cheese and cucumber because I have had the biggest craving and I haven't had any cucumber, so we're gonna do that next. Hi, I'm back. Little shirt change. I was kind of chilly. I have kind of gotten into this little Sunday routine. It's nothing special. I mean, it's kind of common sense. You do your laundry and you go grocery shopping and you plan out the things you have to do during the week, that it's gonna make your week undoubtedly a lot easier. So I'm not inventing some kind of new wheel, nor am I trying to reinvent what is already there. If anything, I am taking the wheel and morphing it into something that works for me, because this is not anything groundbreaking by any means, and I am not doing anything that probably thousands or millions of other people aren't already doing. With that being said, now that groceries are out of the way, now that I am almost done with my laundry and that is almost out of the way, the third and most integral part of my Sunday resets are planning out my week. And that means planning out my content, things I have to do for my content, as well as life stuff, anything that I have going on. And if you are anything like me, you've tried every productivity app there is out there. Off the top of my head, the few most recent ones were Tick, Todoist, Google Calendar, combined with Google Tasks. There's a new calendar called Amy, Notion Calendar, to name a few right off the top of my head. But the problem with a lot of these apps is that you have to pay for them. They're not native. Generally, you have to still sync them with your native apps. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting feeling like I had gotten settled into an app and then something new coming out and my curiosity just like getting the best of me, downloading said app, paying for said app, and it just, at some point, I just was overwhelmed all the time just trying to get organized. So I have a much simpler system now when it comes to planning. It's free because I'm using native apps, so there is no cost other than paying for the device you're gonna use it on, which for me was my phone, my iPad, and my Mac Mini. It is also pretty effective. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and I find that not only do I really stick to the schedule that I set for myself, but I also really am getting things done. And the third is that everything is easily available. It syncs to all my devices. The only downside is that if I rearrange my calendar, say on like my lunch break on my iPad, it won't sync to my phone until either both devices are back on my work Wi-Fi or I'm back home and I'm on my home Wi-Fi. So that is the drawback, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal because from lunch to home, it's only a few hours anyway. So when it comes to planning within the Apple iOS native apps, I primarily use 3. I primarily use Notes, iCal, and Reminders. And I'm gonna put little screenshots so you can kind of get an idea of what I mean as I'm talking about them instead of doing like a whole deep dive video, which if you're interested in that, I will definitely do another video on it. For the sake of the Sunday reset vlog, I'll just kind of walk through each of them. So with Notes, I really like to plan out my content in Notes. So blog posts, YouTube videos, things like that all start in Notes. They get titles, they get, for the blog posts, it's really just a rough draft. And then for my YouTube videos, it's how do I want this video to look? There's a list of A-roll shots and B-roll shots. Everything that is important to me for the video or post goes in that note. So talking points, I don't really script because I find that I have a hard time staying on track with a script, but talking points, different types of shots. I also sometimes struggle with how do I want this video to look? So I'll also make a little note in the note where I then write down, what do I want this video to look like? And I'll type out, maybe it's a day in my life vlog. So there should be shots starting from when I wake up to when I'm winding down to go to bed. There will probably be a few talking headshots because I don't want it to just be flitting through. Why do I keep unfocusing? I don't want it to just continually flit through the day. There should be some interaction, like let's talk a little bit. So I find that when I write down what I want it to look like, that helps so much. So Notes is where all of my content gets fleshed out. But before I can even flesh any of my content out, I'm in Reminders. And Reminders, in a more recent update, added the ability to use lists as Kanban boards, and my little heart was so excited. So I created a weekly planning list in which I switched it to a Kanban board. So on the immediate left is a brain dump list. So anything that I could possibly think of that I want to do, that I need to do, that I probably should do, goes in this list. And then what I do on my iPad or on my phone, because drag and drop on the Mac Mini is very annoying, but what I do then is I put everything in the brain dump list, or if I have something that I know I want to do on a specific day, I might just put it in that specific day's column. But what I really love to do is put everything in my brain dump list and then simply drag and drop it to each day of the week that I would like to accomplish it. And that's it. It's so simple. I think the problem with productivity apps is that we tend to overthink them. We tend to think that it has to be perfect, it has to have this, but the truth is that productivity doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably never going to be perfect. And if it doesn't work for you, then it's just not going to work. So anyway, Notes is where I like to flesh out my content ideas. Reminders is where I write down all my content ideas as well as things for my personal life and whatever, and then move them throughout the week. And I do this on a weekly basis, simply so I don't overwhelm myself. Once I have everything in reminders, then I jump over to iCal. So once I'm in iCal, this is where the whole like visual part really comes into play for me. So I pull all my reminders and I put them out onto my calendar in iCal. And I find that while I'm not a fan of time blocking, and I do leave little bits of white space for things that really don't need to be scheduled in, I don't need to schedule my commute. I have to do it. If I want to go home, I have to commute home. But I find that I really like having the multiple calendars. I have content calendars, personal calendars, a work calendar, and I keep it to my very specific main calendars. Extra stuff can go in like personal or work, but I just really find that writing everything down and then seeing it visually on the calendar just helps so much. And so, for example, you'll see on my calendar, I have work, my lunch breaks, and then pretty much after work and weekends are the hours that I'm dedicating to writing blog posts, editing blog posts, posting blog posts, writing YouTube videos, filming YouTube videos, editing YouTube videos, posting YouTube videos. Everything for my content is there, you know, creating Pinterest pins and scheduling them out throughout the week. And there's so much that goes into it that being able to have a place in reminders to brain dump everything, schedule it out, and then move over to iCal and just see it visually, I have found has helped me so much. And what I also love is that sometimes I like to theme my days. This is something that I discovered through Jules Acree. She has life admin days, potato days, and I just thought they were so fun because sometimes I'm super low energy, and yesterday, for example, I was not a productive being. I'm kind of toying with the idea of implementing theme days, kind of like Jules Acree does, but we'll see. I don't know if that's fully for me, but I do really like the idea, and that is where I learned it from. But yeah, I just really like having a visual place where I can see everything for the week. I also don't plan too far in advance. As you'll see, I only planned up till Wednesday because I just don't know how I'm gonna be feeling. I don't know how the week is gonna be. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I might be super high energy, in a great mood, and then Thursday I might plan, let's finish editing this video, let's work on some like Pinterest pins for next week, get a jump start on it, let's, you know, do all these things, and then maybe Thursday I had a shit day at work, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do any of this. And so I find that by only scheduling out 2 to 3 days in advance, it's a lot easier to then have a low energy day and be like, all right, no biggie, let's move this stuff around. And honestly, sometimes I feel very silly, but at the end of the day, like I said, I've been doing the system for about 2 weeks now. This is week 3 going into using this iOS native Apple app system that I'm building, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with how my schedule looks, with how things are turning out, and I'm also really happy with how much I'm actually getting done. I feel like, what's the point of a productivity system if you spend the majority of the time just putting together this system instead of actually using the system and utilizing the system in a way that works for you? So without getting too much into it, that's pretty much it. The rest of the day, I am free and clear to do as I please. I just ordered some sushi, which should be here literally any minute. And yeah, that's my little system. I'm very happy with it. I don't know if I'll be changing it. And like I said, I definitely do plan to make a video in the future going a little bit deeper into my productivity system because I already paid for these Apple devices. Why should I continue to pay for apps and subscriptions and all these other things that are just so unnecessary? And the Apple iOS native system isn't perfect, and I do talk about that in my blog article, which I'll link below. But honestly, the last couple of weeks it's been working, and if it's working, what is that saying? If it's broken, don't fix it. Can I also just say, this sushi place, look at this, like, are you serious? Can I show you? All right, so now that I am done fangirling over the very nice bag that my sushi gave it, I'm going to go eat because that's pretty much it to my Sunday reset routine. It's a very simple system because I found that if I overcomplicate it, then I start overthinking it, and once I start overthinking it, then I get anxiety about it, and then I get nothing done because I wasted so much time feeling overwhelmed and anxious, and it's just not productive. It's very counterproductive. And like I said, I'm not inventing inventing some brand new wheel. It's 2024. We're getting shit done, and we're getting it done in a way that works for us and our schedules and our energy levels. And gone are the days of messing around with all these productivity apps, with trying to convince myself that this app is gonna be the one, because I'm sorry, babe. It wasn't the one. We've moved on. We probably went through 6 new apps since we thought that that one was the one. But other than that, the only other thing I do have to do tonight is make my lunch, but I don't make my lunch for the next day until like 9:30 at night. And that's just something that I automatically do when I have work the next day. So I'm not gonna include that because to me, it's not really that relevant. That's about it. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. It genuinely means the world to me. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye.